and outrage mean. These are just some of the words being used by MPs about a Sheffield-based company that stands accused of taking taxpayers' money but then failing to get people off the dole queue and back into work.
A4E specialises in retraining and placing unemployed workers in jobs. But a committee of MPs says it's been paid handsomely but has put only a relative handful of people into work. Our correspondent Alan Whitehouse has the story.
It's an anonymous office block in the heart of industrial Sheffield. But tonight it's the centre of a growing row over how taxpayers' cash is being spent. Critics say A4E has taken millions of pounds but failed by a wide margin to hit its targets for getting unemployed people back into work. One MP says it's time for an investigation.
This is an outrage. The MPs are saying this company is being paid but failing to do what it's contracted to do, and the woman in charge seems to have taken a huge personal payment, and I think now ministers need to get to the bottom of this and explain to people what on earth is going on.
The row surfaced at a session of Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, which keeps tabs on how taxpayers' money is spent. Its chair says A4E's performance has been abysmal.
Your top management are taking off 11 million in dividends, which is a tax efficient way of trying to get more money into the pockets of the people who own the company.
According to A4E, they struck a deal with the government to get a 34% success rate getting unemployed people back into work. They say they achieved 24%, well below the target. But the MPs say the true picture's far worse, with just a 9% success rate. A4E are being paid £180 million under the contract, and the company admits it makes a post-tax profit of around £7 million. The bulk of that's gone to A4E's largest shareholder, Emma Harrison, something that's angered other unemployment experts.
Well, A4E's strapline is improving people's lives. Well, she's certainly improving her own life.
Emma Harrison's set to be worth £70 million, much of her fortune coming from A4E, which has 5 separate government contracts, all taxpayer-funded. She wasn't talking about the affair today, and nor was anyone else from the company. Alan Whitehouse, BBC Look North.
Alan, thank you for that. Let's talk to the Labour MP for Sheffield South East, Clive Betts, who joins us now from our Sheffield studio. The targets clearly have not been hit. How do you interpret this?
Well, I think it was interesting John Healey was saying about let's have an investigation, and we should have one into the whole of the work programme and how it operates. A4E has clearly been in the spotlight today, but my understanding is that other companies have probably got an even worse record in hitting their targets. So don't let's focus on one company and one individual. It's the whole programme we need to look at to see whether it's really serving the interests of unemployed people and getting them back to work. And
so you're turning this round, Mr Betts, to the government. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, yes, of course. I mean, you know, who devised the programme? Who placed the contracts? Who's paid out the money for a programme that isn't working? It's the government at the end of the day, and I chaired an inquiry in Parliament into localism, it happens, a few months ago, and as part of that we looked at the work programme and we said that the way it was being designed only allowed very big national organisations to actually bid for these contracts and run them. A lot of organisations with great expertise in dealing with problems of people with particular difficulties getting work, like the disabled people, like homeless people. These organisations were being excluded by the work programme from offering their services, and that's something that needs investigating very much.
There does seem to be a bit of a split here, presuming that the public sector, if it's been involved in this, can't do it, and yet the private sector can. Do you think there's a problem there in some ways in interpreting this?
I think absolutely right. I think the government has a view that only the private sector can do things and the public sector should be left on one side. And certainly when we talk to local authority leaders, we have the leader of Barnsley and the leader of Surrey Council, 2 very different councils in different parts of the country of different politics. Both of them said, look, we're leaders of council in our area, we understand the local area, we understand the job situation, we understand the unemployment situation. It's different in different parts of the country. So let's use the expertise of those people who understand their communities to get unemployed people back to work. And what we've got here is a national programme with very large companies not understanding local areas, and we're not going to get the success we should have if we listen to local community leaders like the council leaders I talked about.
Whatever happens here, there's a shortfall. Whether it's 9% or 24%, the target of 34% has not been met. Is there a moral responsibility on A4E perhaps to give some money back if this is the case?
Well, in the end, of course, that needs investigating, and I understand it's a payments by result contract, so presumably if they haven't delivered the results, they won't get paid, and that needs to be absolutely adhered to. But I think we shouldn't just focus on this one failure. It's a very bad failure, but we've got to look at the whole programme. Unemployment is a rising concern in this country at present. More and more people without jobs. They need help trying to find the jobs that are available, and we've got to reshape this programme to make sure that we can focus on the particular needs of particular people in different parts of the country and not simply have national programmes of this kind which simply don't deliver.
Clive Betts, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.